We have finished talking about our slide as far as that is concerned. Now we're going to be talking about defense, presentation, gidigba, gidigba. We're going to be talking about that right now. I'm going to carry my book. Yes, I'm going to carry a book because it is very, very serious. And as we go into the course of this video, you will see why I actually need this book. Now, in your defense or in your presentation, you're actively being scored. That means that every single thing you say and every single thing you don't say is actively being scored, being counted for you or being counted against you. There are four major criteria, or there are four criteria which are used to allot marks, or in which marks are allotted. The first criteria is dressing and comportment. I'll go through each criteria and the marks allotted to each of them. I will list them out before I explain each of them. The first criteria is dressing and comportment or carriage, and that carries 20 marks. The second criteria is content of your slide, the content of your slide, and that criteria is 40 marks. The third criteria is multimedia and demonstration, which is 20 marks, and the fourth and last criteria is response to questions, which is also 20 marks. The first criteria, dressing and comportment. For dressing, I'm just going to speed through. Make sure you have your suit jacket, make sure you have your waistcoat or your monkey jacket, make sure you have your abba scarf or your abba tie. Make sure you're talking. Make sure you're talking. You are not a guy man. Make sure you're talking. Make sure you look clean and neat. You must be sparkling. You must be flawless. You must look the part. This is important. Like, don't think of it as we are just trying to impress. Yes, you are trying to impress your judges, but don't think of it as you're just trying to impress your judges. This is a formal presentation, a formal defense. It is formal. You are not supposed to look the way you look every single day. An abba scarf alone, it is not going to make you look that different from how you look every single day. So waistcoats, suit jackets is important because you are standing in front of judges. You are not standing in front of mere men or your mere classmates. Good. Now, all those things for dressing, make sure you look fantabulous, fantastic. Suit coat, waistcoat, everything coat, shall wear everything. For comportment and carriage, good. How you can be comported, okay, how you can be confident. The only way, the only thing you can do that can help you in this aspect is if you practice, or is how much you practice. Before you get there, before you get to the front of your judges, I would recommend you practice at least, from beginning to the end, at least 10 times. At least 10 times. You must practice continuously to know how much to know the depth of your understanding of the topic, to know how much you can defend that particular topic. In your practicing, you would visualize that you are in front of the judges, and you must not stutter. You must not stutter. No anything that is not allowed. I understand nerves and all of that, but try your possible best to cut it all out. Practice as much as you can. I said at least 10 times, but I'm not saying that after 10. If after the 10th time you're still not satisfied, keep going, please. I have lost track of how many times I practiced, but I know I recorded myself at least. I recorded myself 10 times. That's even why I'm saying 10 times. But there were times when I practiced and I wasn't recording myself. So record yourself or practice as much as you can till you are 100% certain or you are 100% satisfied. Even if you don't reach 100%, keep on practicing. As you are practicing, these are key things that you must have in mind as you are practicing. Number one, back to perfection. These are key things you must have when you are practicing. Number one, time yourself. You need to time yourself. You are going there to present for 5 minutes. Your practice session cannot be 5 minutes, 30 seconds. In fact, it can't even be 5 minutes, 10 seconds. Because once the alarm starts to ring, you may not even get what you are trying to say. Your practice, you must include timing. You must include timing. How you want to introduce Siwes, how you want to introduce the objectives of Siwes. Now you Sabi, you are the one that wants to start Siwes, Sabi, you are the founder of Siwes. Time yourself in your practice. You must be 5 minutes, in fact, less than 5 minutes. As you continue to practice, you would see that you would need a lesser and lesser amount of time to get straight to the point of what you are presenting on. You would need a lesser amount of time to defend yourself, that you did not just go there to play. Time yourself. Number two, be audible. It is better for you to be loud and for them to tell you to reduce your volume than for them to tell you to increase your volume. Be audible, be loud, be loud. You may not be sure, because I'm guessing this may be your first time, or this may be the first time you're presenting. So you may not be sure how loud or how loud to be. It is better to overshoot than to undershoot. Okay? Be as loud as you possibly can. Of course, you would use your hearing or your senses to take it easy. Take it easy, as in don't hurt yourself. But be as loud as you possibly can. Proper speech. Number one, greeting. Hello everyone does not count there. Nobody's your everyone. Nobody is your hi. This presentation or this defense is, you are focusing on your judges. They are the ones that are going to score you. They are not everyone. This is an example of a greeting. Good day, head of the Department of Human Physiology, lecturers in the Department of Human Physiology, and my fellow colleagues. My name is so. The Department of so. I am here to give a presentation on so. That is how you should greet. That is how you should open. Also, in your practice, as you time yourself, as you're being audible, and you're using your proper speech, make sure as you're using the proper speech, make sure you use reported speech. So reported speech is not just for your slide. Reported speech, you also need to talk about it. Sorry, you also need reported speech when you are presenting. You would also need reported speech when you're presenting, because you can't go there and be saying, okay, then you inject after cleaning the wound. Yes, you carry the cotton wool and you clean the wound, then you inject the individual with a 2mm syringe. You can't say that. This is how you would say it. Okay, the area is cleaned with a wet swab or a wet cotton wool, and then a 2mm syringe is injected into the patient. Nobody is your. If you have angina pectoris, God forbid, nobody has that. Okay, just make sure you have. This is a very formal setting. Have that in mind. D. In fact, avoid D. Avoid anything personal. It is formal. Okay. Go straight to the particular procedure. Yes. You need to go straight in your presentation when you are talking. Your objectives of Siwes, introduction to your hospital, breeze through it. In fact, you may not even say it, but you need to go straight to the thing of the day, to the important thing of the day. How I did mine was that after I greeted, I just said I was opportune to get my industrial training in so, which was established in so. And so I did my training in 2 places. So I said I was permitted, yes, to carry out my industrial training or my industrial exercise in this institution, which was established at this date, and this institution was established at this date. Then I went straight into what I was doing for that day. Do you understand it? I hope you get the message I'm trying to pass across. Lastly, in your practicing for your presentation to aid your comportment, your courage, yes, your dressing, your confidence, personal research is important. You need to research on the topic that you are going to be talking on, or the topic you're going to be presenting on. You need to make appropriate research on it. Like, girl, search it, read about it. Even if you can't read everything, but read about it. Read about it. You have to know you are defending. You're not only defending what you did, or what you saw, or what you experienced, but you're also defending what you now know, or what you know as a result of your experience. Do you get? You have to have it in you. Comportment and courage is not just from your slide. It's not just from your slide. Like, you have to know it. You have to know it. An empty vessel cannot give out. You have to know what you are saying, even if you don't know everything. But you must try and know something. You must know more than half. You have to know it. You have to know it. The second criteria, or the second allocation of marking is content of slide. 40 marks. In the first video, I spoke about this. Yeah, I spoke about the slide, the departmental format and all of that. So go and watch that, because that 40 marks is from there, or this 40 marks is from there. You need to follow that departmental format and the precautions. Yes, be particular. Yeah. Other things that you need to note in this content of your slide is that there must be harmony in the sequencing of the slides. You cannot, if you want to start talking about spirometry, you cannot go straight into the procedure of spirometry. The first thing you write there cannot be procedure of spirometry, and then after that procedure slide, you now write definition of spirometry. No. If you want to do something like that, if you want to talk about spirometry, you give us the definition of spirometry, what you understand by spirometry, then you give us the procedures, you give us the importance of spirometry, you give us the clinical significances. It must be harmonious or melodious. Okay, there must be harmony in the arrangement of the slide. The key to having good content of slide comes from personal understanding. Remember, I told you have to personally understand it, because you are the one that is fashioning your slides. Instead of letting your slides be the weapon fashioned against you, let your slides be the weapon fashioned towards your success. You must properly understand it, and from that understanding, you will now fashion what your slides are going to look like. So, personal understanding, proper research, which is gotten from, or which aids understanding, personal tailoring, and harmony. Personal tailoring is from that understanding, and harmony is also from that understanding. So I cannot overemphasize the importance of research and the importance of your own personal understanding. You need to include physiology parameters, and then engaging content. Engaging content like videos or graphs, very, very important, and they would really help. The third parameter, or the third criteria, is multimedia and demonstration, 20 marks. What I know from multimedia and demonstration is the use of pointer. You know how to use the pointer, how to move from the slide above or to the slide below, or how to move from the slide below to the slide above using the pointer, not touching the laptop, like using the pointer itself. Use of images and videos is also part of your demonstration and multimedia. Proper demonstration of procedure. If you know, I was just reciting the procedure for phlebotomy. So proper demonstration, as you are reciting it or as you are presenting it, you would also be touching your hands and all of that. In this part, okay, one key thing that you can do, okay, if you are opportune to, is before your presentation starts, when you are getting ready to be called, make sure you have or try to have some instruments which you use to learn, or some instruments which you used in your training. If you did phlebotomy, borrow from the lab or from anywhere you can get a tourniquet, 2 ml syringe, 5 ml syringe. In fact, the bottles too, those different colored bottles, whatever, even if it is just 2 or 3 instruments you can get. As you are presenting, you will not touch them, but you will just place them on display. It will not reduce your mark. It may not add to your mark, but it would help. It can help. So you can just do that, part of multimedia, and it is part of demonstrations. I mean, it is part of demonstrations, and then comportment. Get yourself. You have to get yourself, and you have to be confident, born from your understanding and the research on that topic. The last part. Okay. The last part, like the last area of grading in presentation, is response to questions, which is 20 marks. Again, response to questions. For you to properly respond, you can. So when you are asked a question, you either know it or you don't know it. If you know that question, or if you do know the answer to that question, you have to phrase it properly. And that phrasing it properly comes from your own personal understanding, done on your own research. I cannot overemphasize it. You need to understand what you are saying. You need to understand it. It is the basis of your presentation that you understand, that you need to understand it. In answering of questions, this is where your slides, being the weapon fashioned for your success, comes in. Once you finish creating your slides, go through each and every slide and ask yourself, what question can be asked from this? Or do I totally understand what is written here? Can I defend this? What is the physiological relevance of this? For example, in my presentation, I've been using my presentation a lot, I know. But for example, in my presentation, I spoke on muscle tissue, or one of the things my presentation was related to was muscle tissue. And when I was going through each of my slides, okay, I had one slide titled Relevance of Knowledge Acquired. Now, in that slide, I spoke about, or I wrote, okay, it was relevant, what I did was relevant in sports physiology. Before I presented, when I was going through each slide one by one, I saw that, and I myself went to go and check what makes what I did, or what makes that procedure physiologically relevant. And I learned different types of muscle fiber, classified in physiology. That is the slow twitch or type 1, and then fast twitch type 2. Children of God, I was asked, and I could answer, because I went through it, and then that was just one slide. I had about 25 slides, and that was just one slide. So I did that particular thing for every slide. So after you finish making your slides, go through each slide, okay, of what you are going to present, and ask yourself, what can I be asked? What is important? What must I know? Do you understand? Physiologically, because you'll be asked questions from a physiological point of view. What must I know in relation to this topic physiologically? Comported nature under stress. We just finished talking about if you know the answer. If you don't know the answer, don't panic. Don't look around. Don't lose your confidence. Don't lose your steez. Just apologize and say, okay, in my research or while I was going through the topic, I didn't come across that, but I would make sure to search it up later, or I don't have the answer to that question right now. I know that's very embarrassing to say. Don't lie, it's embarrassing to say. But in the situation where you actually don't know it, okay, just apologize and be cool, be calm, maintain your steez. Just apologize and say, okay, I don't know this. I don't know the answer to this question. You get? Just be calm, be collected. You need to understand. Audibility. I told you, it is better to be shouting than to be whispering. Fashion your slide to be weapon fashion for your success. Proper language. This was an issue that I had. Proper language. This was an issue that I had. In my presentation, okay, I said that I destroyed a tissue. Yes, I destroyed a tissue. And I was asked, why would I use the language destroyed? Because destroyed is not the proper language. And I said damaged. I corrected myself and I said damaged, and I was still wrong. The correct answer, or the correct language, or the correct term I should have used was severed. Make sure the language you use to present as you are practicing. Practice. Use your voice memos to record yourself, then listen to it, and make sure. Another thing you should make sure of, like, as you're making sure you are according to the time, you're audible, etc, etc. Another thing you should make sure of that you're using proper physiologic language or terms, so as to avoid the mistake that I made. Lastly, Yes, we've come to the end of this video. Lastly, it is very important that in whatever you are describing or in whatever you are talking about, you understand the physiologic principles, or you read up on the branch of physiology it is related to. For example, if you did dialysis or if you got experience on dialysis, you should read up on your renal physiology. If you have not been taught, or as of the time you went for your Siwes, if you had not been taught renal physiology, when you come back to school, you can read it in relation to what is in your slide. I don't know if you understand me. In relation to what is in your slide, as in each slide, check which question you can be asked. If you did spirometry, read respiratory physiology. Like that, like that, like that. Just to make sure you have the basic physiologic understanding of those principles, like basic physiology. We have come to the end of this glorious video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope this video can still help. Please like this video, share this video to your people that need it, and subscribe so that you can be alerted when other videos drop on Dicot Medical. This is Dicot Medical. Have a wonderful day.